Today's Algebra Nation video will cover workbook pages 56 and 57.
Here we're going to find x and y intercepts, but we have three ways to look at this, either from a graph, a point, or an equation. There's different cases you have to make sure you notice when you're asked to find x and y intercepts. Again, either from a graph, an equation, or a point. The first type we'll talk about is the nicest one. If you're given a graph, just find where the line hits the x-axis and the y-axis. So the x-intercept will be where the line hits the x-axis, and that's where y is 0, giving you the coordinate, the point x comma 0. For a y-intercept, that's where the line will hit the y-axis, and that'll be in the form 0 comma y. So let's say I went ahead and gave you a graph. Go ahead, let's throw up a little graph here. Let's put a line on there. Go ahead, throw a line. There we go. Now looking at this line where it hits the x-axis, that'll be in the form x comma 0. X, and then it doesn't go up or down, so hence the y is 0. For the y-axis, the y-intercept is going to be 0 comma y. You don't go left or right at all, but you go up or down some y-coordinate, hence 0 comma y. So again, if we're going to go ahead and look at a graph like this first example here, look to see where does it hit the x-axis. And right here you have to see it hits at actually about the coordinate 2 comma 0. Because for an x-intercept, the y is 0. For the y-intercept, where the line hits the y-axis, would be right here, is 0 comma negative 1. For the y-intercept, x is 0. So it kind of sounds like you switch them. X-intercept, y is 0. Y-intercept, x is 0. That's for a graph. Now if you're given an equation, find the x-intercept again. You put a 0 for y, and you solve for x. For a y-intercept, you plug in a 0 for x, and you solve for y. So for this first equation, find the x and y intercepts. For the x-intercept, I'm going to go ahead and plug in a 0 for y. 2x plus 5 times 0 will equal 10. Solve for x. 5 times 0 is 0, so it's gone, giving you 2x equals 10. 2 times x, the opposite would be dividing both sides by 2. And that will give you x equals 5. Because the 2's simplify. But that's not the final answer. The coordinate would be x is 5, y is 0. 5 comma 0. For the y-intercept, you plug in a 0 for x. 2 times 0 plus 5y equals 10, and solve for y. 2 times 0 is 0, so that will give you just 5y equals 10. 5 times y, divide both sides by 5, and you'll get y equals 2. But remember, the coordinate would be 0 comma 2, because for an y-intercept, x is going to be 0. So we have our two coordinates. We have the x-intercept is 5 comma 0, and the y-coordinate is 0 comma 2. And if you haven't already noticed, I want you to try this next one. But remember, if you have to, by all means, pause the video if you need to write this all down, and I need to get out of the way. But I want you to pause anyways, because I want you to try this one. This one says, where's the line, y equals 3x plus 2, cross the x and y axis? That's another way to ask, find the x-intercept, find the y-intercept. So go ahead, pause now. To find an x-intercept, that's when y is 0. Again, to find an x-intercept, that's where y is going to equal 0. So you plug in a 0 for y to find the x-int, which is just shorthand for x-intercept. In this case, we need to solve for x. So remember, you want to get your variables to one side, your numbers to the other, and divide if needed. Meaning in this case, I'll subtract 3x over to the left, and that'll give me just negative 3x on the left-hand side. 3x minus 3x is 0, and that equals 2. both sides by -3, and you get x is equal to -2/3. But remember, I want the point. X is -2/3 and y is 0, because for an x-intercept, y is 0. Then, for the y-intercept, where the graph crosses the y-axis, you plug in a 0 for x. Y equals 3 times 0 plus 2. 3 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 2 will give you y equals 2. And that'll be the coordinate. Whoops. No. 0, 2. You've got to be careful about that, especially when it's multiple choice. Remember, y-intercept, x is 0. X-intercept,
He almost got -10.
y is 0. Y-intercept, x is 0. X-intercept, y is 0. 0. So that's given, again, an equation. So far, we've seen a graph, just see where it hits, and an equation. X-intercept, y is 0. Y-intercept, x is 0. But, if you're given 2 points, this is going to take a little bit more effort. This is the one that you really got to watch and think. And remember, watch it a few times if you need to. So ready?
Yes, we're ready for a brain break. In case you missed some of the sports headlines last weekend, check it out. What a shame. It looked like the Gators got rocked. Looks like the Gators got rocked by a hurricane, baby.
You are given 2 or more points. You have to write the equation of the line first that contains these 2 points. To write the equation of the line, we're going to use a couple of equations off your reference sheet. You can either use slope-intercept form or point-slope form. I'm going to do a few of each. Right now, I'm going to start by using slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. First, if you don't have the slope, you'll need to find the slope of the 2 points. Then once you have the slope, you'll plug in one of the points into y equals mx plus b to solve for b. Once you have b and you have the slope, you can plug into y equals mx plus b form to find the x and y intercepts. That sounds like a lot, doesn't it? That really does. So let's do a few examples here. What is the y-intercept of the line that has a slope of 2 and passes through -2, 4? So here's an example where you were given the slope and given the point. So you can automatically use y equals mx plus b. Plug in, you have your slope of 2, you have an x, and you have a y on the line. Plug it all in, find out what b is, and remember, b is already the y-intercept. In this case, I'm going to have 4 equals 2 times -2 plus b. 2 times -2 is -4. So I'm going to have to rewrite that. Solve for b. Add 4 to both sides. And b will equal 8. This is actually a very nice problem because in this case, you're done. The reason why is because b, remember, is the y-intercept. Slope-intercept form is actually slope y-intercept form. Alright? So here the y-intercept would be 0, 8 if they want the actual coordinates. But we're going to use this for the next question. What is the x-intercept of the line that contains the slope of 2 and passes through -2, 4? Now we have m. Now we have b. Plugging that all into y equals mx plus b would give me y equals 2x plus 8. And that's the equation of the line. And from here, we can now go ahead and find the x-intercept. The x x-intercept, remember, you plug in a 0 for y. Get your variables to one side, your numbers to the other, and divide if needed. This is about a two-step process for lines, though. Subtract 2x from both sides. You get negative 2x equals 8. To finish this up, divide both sides by negative 2. The negative 2's simplify, and that gives you x equals negative 4. The coordinate, though, remember, x-intercept, y is 0, will be negative 4, comma, 0. Right there. So again, it's going to take a little bit more effort for this last type. So of course we're going to do another. What if you're given 2 points? What are the intercepts of the line that passes through both of these points? So the first step you want to do, of course, is do what? Find the slope. The slope is, remember, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which you can look up on your reference sheet. If it helps, remember, label. We have x comma y and x comma y. This will be my first point, and this will be my second point. Plug it. We have 4 minus 4, y2 minus y1 over negative 1 minus 3. Will give you 0 over negative 4, which gives you a slope of 0. Gives you a slope of 0. This is one of those special cases. If you get a slope of 0, well, if I want to plug in, let's see, y equals mx plus b, and plug in either point, I'll plug in the first one, 4 equals 0 times 3 plus b. That means that we will get b equals 4, which is the y-intercept. So we know the y-intercept is going to be 0, comma 4, but you also have to remember what kind of line has a slope of 0? A horizontal line. But even if you forgot that, you can see right now y equals 0 times x will be 0 plus 4. So this line is actually a horizontal line at y equals 4, which has a y-intercept. But if you have a horizontal line at y equals 4, what's the catch? The x-intercept would be none. Not every line is going to have an x-intercept and a y-intercept. That's another. Wait, did you catch that? Not every line is going to have an x-intercept and a y-intercept. Okay, I think we're good. And if you have to go ahead and draw it, y equals 4 again is a horizontal line with a slope of 0 and y equals 4. That'd be the graph. Again, notice it has a y-intercept and it doesn't have an x-intercept because not every graph has an x and a y-intercept. I think we can stop with the study edge tip. I think they got it. We got